every day. Aim high, miss never. Welcome to Mortgage Influence. This podcast is dedicated to bringing you cutting-edge tips to truly influence at a completely higher level. I'm Adam Hires. I help loan officers quickly add multiple six figures to their income. If you're trying to grow your business now with skills your competition doesn't even know exist, have the clarity what to do every single day to win, and run a true business that provides you the income to fund your lifestyle while having the freedom to go on vacations and leave your phone on the nightstand all day long. Head over to hirescoaching.com, smash the consultation button today, and quickly begin your path to having an unfair advantage in your market now. From surviving to thriving in your market. Yes, even in your market today, you can be thriving. I know it seems like survival mode. We're going to talk about this and much more with one of our amazing coaches at Hires Coaching. So if you have not signed up for a clarity call and you are just trying to survive, you're just trying to hang on, you're just thinking, hey, I'm going to wait for the market to shift before I start getting deals, it perhaps is a opportunity for you to take a 10-minute clarity call. Schedule that today with Hires Coaching. We'll dive in, and you're probably going to talk to our guest today at first, and we're going to see whether we can truly help you. If we can, we're going to invite you to a world that is going to expand your mind, expand your concepts. You're going to easily and quickly be able to get referral partners, grow your business, and thrive in this market. It's totally possible. We're seeing it over and over and over by new loan officers, from vet to veterans. And quite frankly, a lot of veterans are thinking, oh, I can't grow. You just don't know. And they're continuing to decrease and do 3 loans a month, while we got new loan officers getting deals right and left. So if you're out there, you're a veteran, just imagine what you can do with the right coaching, with the right mentorship. So if you just think, hey, listen, 3 or 5 loans a month is kind of what I need to do in this market, kind of survive, 6 or 7, or I'll just continue to go down, and you're living on borrowed time. It does not have to be that way for you. You can grow in this market, but it will require a change. It will require having someone guide you along that way and just take you by the hand and give you a step-by-step roadmap, the skills, marketing and sales skills to be able to really leverage your time, your efforts to grow your business quickly and predictably, and really have confidence in yourself, in your future, that you can grow now, which is our success triad. So go ahead and schedule your coaching call at hirescoaching.com, and we'll help you out today. So let's get into how you're going to thrive in this market, not just survive. And I have an amazing guest on here, and she is, I really, I comb through so many coaches and talk to so many coaches and people that were amazing. And, Kenny is one of those that stood out, because Kenny, as you'll find on here, very knowledgeable, very successful herself, helps others get out of their own way and really thrive in the market. And she's able to do that for our clients. So you want to listen up today and hear what she's saying and some of the nuggets that she's going to pass on, where she's been able to shift people when they come in the doors to be able to start moving their business predictably and easily, to grow their business, like we always say, quickly and predictably add multiple 6 figures to your income. It can happen for you right now. So let's talk to Coach Kenny Richardson. Welcome to the show there, Kenny.
Hi, Adam. Super happy to be here today.
Yes, I am happy you're on. The guests are going to love you. So Kenny, you want to just give us a little rundown of kind of what's going on in Kenny's world, and anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my own business. I am a health and mindset coach, and really my journey started a few years ago when I went through a really big shift personally, and I realized how much it doesn't matter what you are attempting to do, but the mindset of how you are waking up and attacking each day is what makes the difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not. And it's so much deeper than, kind of a lot of what you might hear out there in the, I don't know, foo-foo science world. There's a lot of things that you can implement to legitimately change not only like your mindset for each specific task, but overall and how you relate to yourself and how you relate to your surroundings. So for me, it was a no-brainer to join Hires Coaching. I've been here for a little while now, and I've just seen some amazing transformations with the clients that we've had. So I'm really excited to get to be on today and share some of the things that I'm witnessing and some things that can definitely help other people truly transform.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'd love to just jump right into that and really just kind of have some back forth, some free flowing, and kind of be a one of those that seems like I'm maybe in the coaching ranks, and maybe not. Just more of just asking you these types of questions that perhaps people want to know out there, and we'll kind of free flow it from there and see if we can provide just a massive value to these clients, so they can take some nuggets today and start running with it. As we know, we can't give you all the wealth of knowledge that you're going to want to really have to grow your business, but we're going to give you some here. And if you feel like it resonates with you, let us know that it resonates with you and that you're able to take it and run with it. So we always love to hear back from you. Let us know how we're doing, how we're serving you. So Kenny, obviously right now the market is like, I had a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it was basically, it was talking about, there's two ways to make zero impact as a loan officer. And really it's a dreamer that, that doesn't know reality basically. And the one that is based in reality that never dreams, right? And I imagine you're seeing both of those spectrums, right? But it's okay to acknowledge right now is a little tougher than it's been, but there's still amazing opportunities. And so could you speak to a little bit of that, like people coming in and like, what are you seeing from loan officers, like maybe in the mindset, and what maybe they're even kind of how many loans they're doing, what their activity is, and like how that all ties into like what some things that you're able to, immediately just pinpoint and start helping them on.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I think is super important is I do think it's very important to address like the elephant in the room, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not a little bit more challenging than it was a year, 2 years ago, right? We all live in reality. The thing that I always like to bring up, especially to people who maybe have been in the space, so maybe they experienced higher volume, they were feeling really successful, and now the market has shifted a little bit and they're scared, right? They're not seeing the volume that they were before. The biggest thing that I'm seeing, it's not the change in market that is impacting everybody. It's how they're responding to the change in market. So because they are approaching what's going on from this really fear-based mindset, like even that closed off body, right? Yeah. It's impacting their ability to show up in their business. So even though they may think like they're writing it off as, oh, rates are going on, we're not getting any refis, all of these things, the truth is they're letting that fear dictate how they run their day. So right out of the gate, they're getting up in the morning and they're thinking, oh, it's not what it was. This isn't an area that I can thrive in. It doesn't matter how many calls I make. People just aren't buying homes. People aren't refinancing. And the very first thing that I address with everybody that I work with is we got to get out of that mindset, because it's just not true. Like I said, we address the reality of the situation, but the truth is people are always buying homes. Like this isn't all of a sudden now there's no homes being bought. And if you look in the grand scheme of things, honestly, rates aren't that bad right now.
Yeah.
Like, did we go through a spoiled state? Absolutely. Is there going to be a little bit of attrition as we come back to more of a neutral ground? Absolutely. The great thing that seems to always click with a lot of people is what they don't realize is the people who were in it for fast cash and the people who don't have really what it takes, guess what? They've already left.
Yeah.
They're out of the business already. So, and it follows in that line, right? So even though maybe the total volume of loans being done is slightly, and like, let's again look at real numbers here, slightly less than what it was, there's also like a third less loan officers out there. So it really, to me, is a time, I love using the expression of like winterizing yourself, right? So getting very clear on your priorities and how you want to show up, no matter what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
Another great example that I always like to use is we want to be a rock in the ocean rather than a piece of wood floating on top. So you want to really make the distinction between, are you letting all of these outside forces inside of you? Right? Are you letting it decide how you're going to show up, how you're going to move today, and really just reacting consistently rather than choosing who you're going to be and what kind of business you want to have? It's just something that I'm seeing a lot, and I'm not saying it's not like a super easy flip, right? It takes some work, it takes some effort. But once you can climb over that initial hurdle and get past that first really big mindset struggle of, we're in a down market, it's all bad, like nothing good can come from this, nobody's buying homes. Once you get out of that, you realize, well, that just wasn't even true.
Yeah.
And it really was the mindset holding you back, right? I think about all the time, if you start off your day, for me, I'm a mom, so I always think about, what if one of my kids got sick in the middle of the night? I was up, I didn't get any sleep. I got up, say the coffee maker breaks, right? It's just, you're starting off immediately. Terrible morning. How do you think any calls that I get on that day are going to be?
Yeah.
And it's because if I don't have something set in place to rebalance me, to really take that control back, you're just in that constant state of reaction.
Yeah.
So that's really like the initial thing that I feel like has to be addressed right now. It's absolutely the elephant in the room. You can decide to let what's going on in the market be your scapegoat. Sure, you can do that. You're not going to be successful in this market then.
Yeah.
Or you can decide, hey, no matter what, the market's going to fluctuate and I'm in this business for the long haul. So what can I do to differentiate myself in this market? And how can I show up better, more efficiently in this market so that every interaction that I'm having is meaningful?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You know, what was so funny is I was at I was at an event, and the real estate agent got up and had a presentation, and it was about how many homes were sold in that county and all that. What was so interesting, and I honestly just started laughing, like just not out loud really, but like to mess up the presentation. But I just started just kind of laughing to myself because it was so interesting that the homes year over year sold were 14% difference. They were 14% less. And I almost started laughing, like 14% is like, that's not that much, right?
Right.
And we think about it, it's like there's probably 14%, kind of like you talked about before, 14% less loan officers. Yeah, there's a whole lot less refinances. So if you're out there and like, okay, well, yeah, but the refinances fell off. Well, I've been preaching this for the last 3 years about like stop going after just refinances, right, and be working on these relationships. And of course, a lot of loan officers, right, if you're out there, I want you to kind of like, don't judge yourself, but just know kind of like this is a baseline and this is reality, is that it was, well, I'm doing fine right now, or I wish it would slow down. When we work at skills, we're working on different things. Like we mainly work on marketing skills, sales skills, and then leadership skills. And a lot of times the leadership skills were just missing because like, well, why don't you build out a team a little bit more, just capture more and continue to work on relationships. But here's the thing is like relationships are always going to win. And right now, as you're talking about it, right? Like how many people do show up that are scared or not taking the action? And think about the people that are actually coming into our space. Those are still select few because most of the percentage are just like sucking their thumb, not taking any action. And so like right now, if you're willing to get outside that comfort zone, you're willing to say, hey, listen, I can grow, and you're willing to work on it, you will separate yourself. And like certainty is what you should be selling out there more than ever. Certainty always sells, but certainty today, when you're talking to a real estate agent, for example, certainty sells, hey, I'm going to be here. This is what I'm doing to grow my business. And like that right there is a huge difference, especially going into 2023 as we're about to go here just over about a month, is that, or 2 months, I should say. I don't know. I'm just speeding time up. So you're coming into that and they're going to want different partnerships sometimes or think, hey, listen, what do I got to do to win in 2023? You got to come with certainty because just know that most of the people we talk to, just like Kenny said here, just think about it, is like they are having these same kinds of struggles and everything else. But if you can separate yourself and start showing up with certainty, you're going to start attracting more partnerships in this market. And the 14% downturn, like you can make up 30% in that. And so if you had a lot of refinances and you weren't focused on relationships, hey, listen, let's just start doing that now. And right now, because what you're doing right now is going to dictate what you're doing in 2023. So we encourage you to first get outside of that bubble that you're in as far as thinking, I can't do more. You may need to get some help. That's where myself, Kenny, and others come in. But from this podcast alone, let's just start thinking like, hey, listen, this is something we can start doing now. You can thrive. Like, and I want you to even repeat that to yourself. It's like, I'm no longer going to survive. I'm going to thrive in this market. And, the more that you're trying to focus on like not sucking, basically, right? I'm going to hang on. That's what you're telling your unconscious mind to do. Like, just don't think about the white elephant. Don't think about the white elephant. Don't think about the white elephant. What are you doing right now? You think about the white elephant. So what you're doing is you're talking about surviving. So yeah, your brain, your whole momentum is going towards, survival instead of thriving. Like, what am I going to do today? Oh my God, this is going to be the best day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this action. This is going to be great. This is going to yield this results. Like, you've got to start training your unconscious mind to start searching and focusing on the right activities, and good things will happen. I know I got off on a tangent there. It was great stuff from Kenny. So Kenny, go through some more stuff like here, like where have you seen some big traction come from, like from some of these clients where, all of a sudden you see, you don't have to name their names or anything else, but like you saw all of a sudden, boom, there was this thing happen, this action, all of a sudden, like they're gaining traction. Like what's some of those, kind of examples or what you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So really quick, the very first thing is I can't let this like slide past, but the people you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
like I cannot express that to the nth degree. It's the most important thing you can do, not only for your business, but for your life. So if you find yourself surrounded by people that are, for lack of a better word, like bah humbug about this industry right now, you got to get out of that.
Yeah.
And you need to find the people who are supportive, uplifting, and that push you to take action. That's like the biggest thing, right? So that's a huge thing. And I think that's the first step that I see with my clients. Like they're making a commitment to get into a space where we all want to grow together, and we're not going to accept external excuses anymore. We're going to show up, we're willing to be vulnerable, and that's really the biggest thing. But to me, the second biggest thing that I've seen with all of my personal clients that makes such a huge impact is how you are showing up with your schedule. I have probably said it 100 times. If you show me your schedule, I can tell you your priorities. And essentially what happens, and I get this more than an entrepreneur, more in my opinion than most any other profession you can be in. Loan officers are like a slave to the clock, right? Everything that they do has that timestamp on it. And what happens is they really get into this like firefighter mentality, right? So what happens is you might have decided you're going to make, I don't know, 20 calls this morning, right? You're going to do it before noon. Great. You start on your calls. All of a sudden you get a text that somebody needs some paperwork. Okay. So you hop on your laptop, you send over what they need. Then you see you have an email, right? All of a sudden one of your, you got something under contract. We need some more information over here. Oh, this close isn't going to go through because the appraisal didn't come back what we thought it was going to be. All of a sudden it's 1 o'clock and you never got back to that initial making the phone calls because you spent all of that time jumping from one task to the other, putting out fires. Yeah. And so it's just a question that I pose to our clients really frequently. Like today, were you a loan officer or were you a firefighter? And I'm not saying, you know, I get it. Those things are going to happen. But the people that are successful and all of my clients that have really seen that month over month increased growth have become the controllers of their time. Yes. So I'm not saying that you don't give a quick response to someone when it's something time sensitive, but your response is, I'm going to get back to you at this time. And you are prioritizing the things that are actually going to make you money. That's kind of, that's the biggest thing. So don't get bogged down with all of this response and back and forth and babysitting loans. There's no reason for that. If you are missing out on those income producing activities every single day, and instead you're jumping from fire to fire, you're not going to be successful. So it's really coming from a state of being proactive rather than reactive. Yeah. So my favorite thing to do is we actually break down every single person's schedule. And I mean, like, this is how much time I'm going to spend eating. I'm going to take a break at this time. From, 9 to 10, I'm going to make 20 calls. And having the schedule, step one, great. You have to have that. Having the accountability with the schedule is such a game changer, because then there is this level of, okay, you said you were going to do it. What got in the way? Why did we allow it to get in the way? And once you have that realization, like, holy crap, I can actually get, I can get 50 calls done in a day, no problem, because I prioritized my time and I actually incorporated time to put out fires. And I didn't do it until that time. Yes. Right. I love saying, like, a little bit of heat's okay. Like, don't be afraid of a little bit of heat. You're not a firefighter. It's not your job to make sure that all the fires are put out. In fact, as a loan officer, you should know that you're going to have fires. You should just expect them on a daily basis, that something is going up in flames. That's okay. Yep. Once we shift that expectation, it doesn't become this innate need to babysit the loans, to respond to every single email, because you're not in this scarcity state anymore. You're in this state of confidence. You are controlling your time and you're responding like a loan officer, not like a firefighter.
Yeah. I love it. That's gold. That is 100% gold, Kitty. And you are right. I always talk about time sucks, potential time sucks. You should kind of know, like, too, like you said, the expectation, I think is great, right? Like, I always expected, like, when one thing I always put in my day and then I train my team to do is, like, what's a potential time suck, right? Like, when you come in the day, Kenny's loan is a hot mess in LA. Kenny's loan is going to be hot. So Kenny's probably going to be reached out to us and this. So, like, you kind of already know that potential time suck. Now, how do I get in front of that? Or the loan is supposed to close today and get clear close, but it's whatever. What's the potential time suck? Okay. So how am I going to get in front of it? And then what's that next expectation of time? But by the way, this is something to write down, loan officer out there, is never stop saying ASAP. That sucks. It's horrible. It's bad, right? It's like everything has a timestamp. I will get back to you by noon, right? I will get back to you by 1. Like this is when it's going to happen. And then just do that. And so getting in front of the potential time sucks and running your day is vastly important. You know, when I was closing, you know, I had 40 something loans in a pipeline at a time, right? Like that's, you know, you got no choice if you want to continue to have those types of numbers that you get ahead of the time sucks. Like you said, you run your day because there's no way, as you said, with you know, you run out of water, right? Like you will be a fireman out of water if you do not, you know, control that day properly. It just won't be sustainable. It just be you're living on borrowed time. And I want you to kind of think about this too, everybody, is like you're living on borrowed time every day that you're not prospecting and doing the things that are driving your business home. And so like you think about, oh my gosh, if this loan, Miss Johnson's file doesn't close, that's going to cost me $3,000. That's going to cost me $5,000. No, it's going to cost you how much ever your prospecting time is worth too. So if you 2 hours of prospecting time is worth, you know, $3,000 and you lost an additional $3,000. The fact is that, you know, you can run your day, you can take care of people at the highest level. And you said it, right, Kenny, you said a very critical thing there. You said scarcity. Let me ask everybody you also said acting like a firefighter rather than a loan officer. I want you to really, like, those things are critical. Just think about that. How are you showing up? How is your ability to solve the problem going to be working as a loan officer compared to a firefighter? Loan officer is going to be calm, cool, collected. They're going to be composed. They're going to calm the client down. Firefighter is going to be frantic, freaking, oh gosh. I mean, I know, you know, not putting down firefighters, but frantically, they got to freaking get out the hose and they got to freaking, you know, there's all this chaos going. That's part of the job, the chaos, right? The chaos. You, as a loan officer, you are the fire chief or whatever you got to be. You're the loan officer that is got to be calm, cool, collected, and calm everybody down without having to pick up a hose and spray that out every 2 seconds. So for you to do that, you're going to be not in a scarcity mindset, right? You're going to be in an abundance mindset. Hey, listen, for me to take care of these clients at the highest level, I'm going to have to be at my best. So therefore, I've got to do things in a proper box, a proper time. And, you know, again, maybe a money jar. We talk about monopoly jar, like a monopoly money. You know, get that monopoly money out. Like every time that you're not in your zone, like you're putting money in that jar, like you're just wasting money away. And so, yeah, it's very critical. I'm glad that you do that. And Kenny does an amazing job, probably better than I do, of keeping that accountability with a smile of like, okay, here, let's stay in your schedule. And, you know, it's not so regimented. Like, I don't want to be like, oh my God, like it's dictatorship of like, it's just working in your zone, in the right times and really nurturing that process and helping you. Because think about like what Kenny was saying there too, is like all the layers behind like why you're doing these things. Like it was what we really peel back the onion because, you know, we think we need to do this because of what? Because, oh my gosh, like they're not going to love us. We're not going to get another deal. All these things are self-limiting. And we really need to address them. That way we can do more loans, less time, have time with our family, et cetera.
Yeah. And honestly, you bring up a super great point here that I think everybody, especially right now, I can't tell you how many times I've heard it and then seen the opposite, right? So it's the thought that because it's quote unquote harder, you need to be more available. And I can't tell you, I've now seen it. I can think of 5 clients right off the top of my head. As soon as you set those boundaries and around your personal life and get very clear on why you're doing this, I don't think anybody enters this game to work 80 hours a week. Like that's not what anybody's here to do. So why are you running your business in a way that forces you to do that? And I can hear it already. People are like, oh, I have to, it's not a choice. And I'm going to call BS on that. It's absolutely a choice.
Yep.
And once you actually set up those boundaries, it's amazing what changes for you, because you don't show up frantically. You don't show up in scarcity. You're actually feeling fulfilled because guess what? You took a break. You had the weekend with your family. You stopped working at 6 o'clock and got to spend time with your kids. That's why you're in this industry, for that freedom. And so I think that people really get confused. They think that and I'm not saying, listen, there's a big difference between, in my mind, between hustling and working hard. You
Yeah.
are always asked to work hard. I will never ask anybody to do anything less than hard work. I'm not going to ask you to hustle to the point of burnout, because we're in this for the long game, right? I mean, I would honestly tell people, like, if you're looking to, make some quick cash, get in, get out, like, this isn't the situation you want to be in. If you are really looking to invest long term, like, that's what we're creating here. And that's what we're seeing time and time again with our clients, that as soon as you make those boundaries and all of a sudden you are only working 40 hours, that's crazy. Last month you did 2 loans and this month you did 5 in less time.
Yeah.
And I think people really were confused about that, especially in this industry. Like, it's just this constant go, go, go. And that doesn't last.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gosh, that's a great point. I love it, Kenny, because you calling out the fact that, like, right now it's like, oh yeah, I got to do more. You got to be better.
Right.
You got to be more efficient. You got to be more certain. Don't confuse it with, like, I got to run frantically and just do everything and everybody's beck and call. There's a way. And of course, listen, you may not be able to figure this out right now because you're like, gosh, well, what do I do here? Or what about this situation? We answer those questions inside the walls, just FYI. We put it together, but start with understanding, at least today, like, that's not what you have to do. You don't have to run around working all these crazy hours. In fact, like, I've worked less than 40 hours for the last few years of my career, doing 20 plus loans a month. Oh, well, you have a team. Of course I had a team. That's called skills and leadership. So your ultimate goal is for us to help you do enough business, be skilled enough in your sales and marketing, running your day properly. And by the way, you can't add crap, or anything else onto your game until you got all your stuff figured out. You can't add team members until you got your own stuff figured out, right? You got your own crap figured out, right? Meaning that you can run your day, but then you have those skills, you're gaining those skills because you're growing your business. And then when you add people in and you can be a better leader, and you can, then do more loans, less time, be certain about it, and serve your clients and your referral partners at the highest level. And so, like, there's strategies we teach, like when you should contact referral partners, how you should contact them, how you should set that up, what the conversation should be. But just know, like, you don't have to be running pre-approvals all the time at 9 o'clock at night. In fact, the heaviest volume times I've ever had, like, I was working very little time after 5 o'clock and very little time on the weekends. Yes, was there those occasions where I would do it depending on the situation? Absolutely. Was I running around, like, working all the time, working 78 hours a week? No, it was not. And neither do you. And we've seen clients do the same thing. So it's not just me. I'm not some talented wizard that figured out time. I'm talented on certain things. Like running my day and structuring my day is not something that just came overnight. It doesn't come overnight to a lot of our clients. Clients that went from 5 loans to 17 loans a month in less time than they're doing 5 loans a month. That didn't come overnight, but it does happen quicker than you realize. It can happen between vacations, right? And I often talk about that. My first vacation I ever went on, right? Like, I was doing a lot of loans. I came into the game, I did 20 loans a month in my 6 months in. And then, a few months later, we're going on vacation. It was May. So it was like, now I'm a year into the game and I'm doing all these loans and I'm like, oh, I'm going to enjoy myself. So I go and wake up the next morning and all of a sudden I'm like, let me look at my laptop here and do a little bit of work. It's on, and then all of a sudden it turns into 4 o'clock in the afternoon every single day. I'm in my hotel room while my family's playing and they're on the beach. And I get home and I'm like, wait a second, this is crazy. And I literally just blew an opportunity to spend time with my family, my little girl. And so at that point, I said, I got to make a change. It didn't happen overnight. Like, it was, but between vacations, it happened, meaning that I was able to enjoy and just not doing anything on vacation, work less than 40 hours and while growing my business. And so it can happen for you too. So just understand, like, it probably didn't happen overnight for Kenny to be able to run a schedule. She has her schedule is like loaded. She's does all these different things, runs her own business, helps our clients. So it's not like she's just in fairy tale land. She runs her own thing, has her own business, helps our clients, et cetera. And she has to run a tight schedule. It doesn't happen overnight, but these are little changes that we can help you implement, not only in the sales and marketing, all the stuff that we really help you with, the tactics, the scripts, the concepts, just all these things, copywriting skills, influential, posts, everything that we help with. We also help with, doing less time, feeling more empowered to make these decisions and grow in this market. You can thrive in this market, but it will require a change. It will require a change.
No, and I think that's such a great point that you bring up too. It's not, I think people, basically what I've seen, so like people got into this and they're like, I can do great loans. I know about these programs. I'm going to be successful. And they didn't realize all of these other skills that they actually need to be successful, because nobody told them, nobody's training them, nobody gave them a roadmap and said, make sure you master these things. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to stay on that hamster wheel of 0 to 3 loans a month and you're never going to get out of it. And a point that I just want to touch on too, that I think is really important in terms of that mindset, is you have to be willing to test something out. Yes. So I'm not saying that, maybe the exact way I do something is not going to be the exact way you do it, but you have to be open to trying out some different things and treating it like a test. This was like the biggest mind-blowing thing that I ever learned, right? So I'm naturally a very extreme person. I'm 120% in. And if I have like one deviation from perfection, I used to throw in the towel. I used to say, oh, well, it's all screwed up. It's a complete failure. It's botched. I always think about like working out or dieting, like, oh, starting over on Monday, right?
Yep. That
is the worst mindset you can have, honestly. No matter, like, you don't ever have to be 100%. If you can come into this industry, you know how to do the job, and you're willing to work on some of these other skills, on some of this, influential marketing, on some of your sales skills, on some of your confidence. That's another big thing. People think confidence is something you have or don't have. Like, again, I'm calling BS. That's not true. Yeah. Confidence is a skill. So if you're willing to work on these things, you don't have to be 100% at them to see success. In fact, really just taking a little bit of a leap. What is the saying you always say, Adam? Small hinges swing big doors. Yep. A little bit of a change in some of these areas just creates magnitudes of a ripple effect in your business. And so just having that mindset of being open and not like holding yourself to that 100% or bust scenario. It's absolutely, we're going to build on these skills that in the beginning, I didn't even know I needed. And then we're going to tweak them as we go. And that's how, to me, that's the difference between 5 loans a month and 10 loans a month, and then once you start talking about building out a team, guess what? Now there's these other set of skills. And so the more that you are open to that and open to really looking at yourself and saying, okay, I'm not exactly where I want to be. What can I do beyond what I thought? Because clearly what I thought it's not giving me the results I want. So being open to that I mean, that's step one. And I think that's the beauty of a program like what we offer, right? People get to say yes to that, and they get to really expand on a skill set that in the beginning they didn't even know they needed.
Right.
And what an amazing thing. Like, to me, it's just, it blows me away and makes me so excited to get up and work with our clients every single day, because that initial like light bulb moment when they're like, wow, I didn't even know this is what was missing. And now look at what I'm doing. It's just a phenomenal thing to see. And it can happen for anybody. That's the part, it's not like you don't have to be someone special. You just have to be willing to take some action, get a little bit uncomfortable, and build out some of these skills, and just, be willing to be real about where you're at and where you want to be.
Yeah. It's, and comparison where it deflates you is something that we never want to do. But at least having a metric of like, hey, listen, people are being successful out there, even probably in my market, like, and there's just a gap, and like, hey, listen, the good news is I can fill that gap. It's like, if nobody's being successful in this market, right, then it's like, then we can talk, right? Like nobody's actually, everybody's at the top person is at 2 loans a month, right? Then that would be okay. That's gloom and doom, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of great things, and now it's like, listen, we can fill those gaps. Just knowing like there is a way, right? There is an opportunity. It's kind of funny, like we had a Q&A, and we're on there, and one of our new client, or our clients, has only been with us for like 3 months, and only been, in the game 3 months. It's like, I got 11 referrals last week. And another guy that just came to our program, only a couple of weeks in, he's like, how long you been doing this? And he's been doing it for a few years. And he's like, holy crap, like that's wow. And it's like, now he's like, okay, if she can do it, like, why can I not do more, right? Even more, why can I have 20 referrals in a week? She did 11, she's new. Like, and so like a lot of veterans, like you may be a veteran listening to this and thinking, oh, well, right now there's probably somewhere where somebody that's far less, knowledgeable about loans, been in the game far less time, that is doing more, getting more referrals and growing their business at a higher clip. It's not because you're bad. It's not because they're quote unquote better than you. In fact, you probably have a lot of skill, a lot of things that are ahead of them. It may just be, and it likely is just a few tweaks, a few little mindset tweaks, a few little tweaks in your sales, a few little tweaks in your marketing, and you will accelerate because you have all these other things working for you. So the opportunities out there are for you. I would just encourage you not to give up on yourself, not to give up on what you want to do, just because the market and who you're hanging around is telling you this is the way it is. Get off of MBS Highway all the time. Like, listen, MBS Highway is a great tool to have. Like, just FYI, Barry Beeves a man, not putting down his program at all. However, you're hanging around some of those forums, you're hanging around those things, and everybody's just talking about, oh gosh, the rates are all this other stuff. Like, understand that is killing your ability to influence others, influence yourself, and grow your business. So be very mindful of like taking that for anything more than just getting the information to be able to help others. Once you get into anything other than that, you're losing. Kenny, you got any parting words for us? Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that one more time, because I do think it's so important. Like, the sooner you can extract yourself from those types of situations and those types of relationships, the change that you will see, again, will your business grow? Absolutely. Will you grow as a person? Will your personal life, will your relationships just become better? 120%. I cannot tell you the magnitude that surrounding yourself with a community of people who are dedicated to helping you grow and who have the skills that you want to have. I mean, we've all heard it, right? You become the people that you spend, the 5 people that you spend the most time around. That's who you become. So, take an inventory. Listen to how they're talking, look at how they run their life, how their relationships are. And if it's not something you want to emulate, I'm not saying like you got to totally cut them out, but be really intentional with your time. And, if you're looking for a community of people that can support you and point you in the right direction, that's absolutely what we have here. And honestly, it's something that I'm just super proud to be a part of. And it's something that has, as much as like I feel like I give, I get that much back in return too. It's just a phenomenal community.
Yeah, so it absolutely is. We have amazing people. We had a great group session with our team this morning, and just the people behind the doors that get me in front of some amazing clients they're great. Kenny, I mean, just has really given so much to me, and just I continue to learn from her, and our clients are well served, and we continue to want to serve people at the highest level, and it's amazing. It's just like a little client last night that said, "Hey, yeah, let's go. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Right? This is an opportunity," and I love that she looks at it as an opportunity. And the way we talk to you is that you will feel like it's an opportunity coming in the doors, because it is, right? It's not when you talk to us, it's not going to be an adversarial, like, oh my gosh, like beating you over the head trying to get you in here. We want people that are truly wanting to grow, that they're right people that are going to add to the community. And they will see a growth, and that's what's such a beautiful thing. So we're blessed to do what we do. We're blessed that you're listening to this today. What I want you to do, if you could do, it's not even just us a favor, do other people a favor by hitting us a good review and a 5-star or whatever on this podcast as well, so other people see it, other people can grow from it. Don't try to hold it to yourself. That is a scarcity mindset. Have an abundance mindset, because you're the only one that controls your income and your future. So get it out there. And again, if you want to get the goodness, you want to come inside the walls, go to hirescoaching.com right now, schedule a 10-minute clarity call, and you'll likely get on there with Kenny, and she'll talk to you, and then and see if that's your fit for Hires Coaching. So look at my background, Top Gun loan officer. We got our challenge going on right now. It's amazing. It's fun. Loan officers are just having their best weeks ever in this challenge. It's just so uplifting to see. So hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Go crush it out there. Remember, don't just take this and just try to learn and wait for the next one to learn. Go implement, go take action, and your business will start accelerating now. For me, Adam Hires and Kenny Richardson, we're out. We'll see you later. And you know the drill. Limited risk equals limited income.